Hey, it's your girl, CT Connects. How are you? Listen, thank you so much for subscribing and for watching and just keeping up with your girl. This is the episode that is so special to me because I spend it with my sis, LaTonya Meori. Yes, she and I grew up together and she is doing her thing. Y'all make sure to check her out at the Miracles Podcast. And so this is a special interview that we are doing, and it's actually called What's Love Got to Do with It? Right. What does love really have to do with it? So spend the next few episodes just digging in. We're talking about 17 Days, the movie. We're talking about all kinds of fun and exciting things as well. So thank you again for tuning in, and make sure to check out the full podcast on at the Miracles Podcast. CT Connects.
Hi, Miracles, and thank you for tuning in to the Miracles Podcast with me, your host, LaTonya Meori. This podcast is here to uplift and inspire you on your journey called life. This week's episode is all about love, and I'm sharing this week's episode with a special guest, Miss Cindy Taylor, who is a creator of arts within herself, who just embarked on an acting debut in the new hit movie entitled 17 Days. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this one. Hello. Welcome, Miracles. I'm so excited about today's guest. She is a phenomenal woman, but I'm going to let her tell you all about herself. Miss Cynthia Taylor, welcome.
Hi.
So great to have you on today.
Hello, listeners. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for having me.
Yes. And at the time that we will release this recording, it will be Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's to everyone listening. So, Cynthia, what have you been up to? Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Cynthia. I am a new actress in the movie 17 Days, my very, very first film. Prior to acting, and my stage name, I'm going by Cindy Taylor. Just a little bit of a twist. Tanya, I went by Cindy Taylor as a realtor. And so that name kind of sticks with me. So just you're a girl around the way, from a small town. Like so many people, thank God for opportunities, went to school and, just living my life. I've been through some things. I'm thankful for every opportunity I've had. My brand, which is CT Connects. And that's something that I enjoy because I get to help people, kind of like yourself, Tanya, just helping to highlight artistry and, on my end, it's even small businesses and events and things like that. And so it's just a lot going on. I'm excited about everything. It's so much. I can't even say it in one setting.
That's awesome. Congratulations. A movie is a big deal. So how did you get connected with 17 Days?
Well, a really, really quick story. I worked for empowerment music group, and I'm getting caught up because we have recently obtained a new wing to the company, which is in film. So that part of us is all entertainment media group. And so with the label, I am their promotions and marketing coordinator. And Terry D, who is the writer of the movie 17 Days, big shout out to Terry D Films, Darrell Smith Studios. And he just reached out to the president of the label and said, hey, DJ Profluent, I met you some years ago. Can you help me with the soundtrack? And so Profluent was like, sure, I'll help you out. No worries, And it just kind of went from there. Me being my promo and marketing person, I actually ended up, just kind of supporting, what they had going on, reposting stuff. And what ended up happening was, they said, hey, he saw what I had going on. He said, hey, I want you to know if you can, help me actually promote the movie, and be in it. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be in it. Send me the script. He was like, okay, I need you to play this role. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm 42. He's like, I need you to be a 19-year-old. I'm like, okay.
Oh, no, that's right.
So, and voila. And then, come to find out, we just had other connections and other ties. We knew each other. Our families know each other for years. And so it was just God. It just came together.
Yeah. God is amazing like that. Like, he'll just connect you with the right people at the right time.
Right time. Yes.
So congratulations on that. That's an awesome endeavor. Can you just give us a quick synopsis of the movie and what it's about?
Absolutely. I would love to. So 17 Days, the movie, is a drama. It's a thriller. It's a nail biter.
Oh, wow.
It'll have you, clenching your chest, holding your breath, laughing. It's really a good story about a good girl who meets a bad guy. And I think sometimes as women in relationships, I don't want to use the word desperate, but we seem to be nurturers. So we're kind of a little bit more willing to compromise because we feel like we may be able to fix it. Or even if there are things going on, we may just say, okay, well, we'll tolerate it. And it just eventually gets worse. And that's what happens, in this movie. It gets worse. And it's about domestic violence. It's about, it hits it from all angles, from the angle of Brianna, who is the main character, her mother's perspective, her father's perspective, even the main character who is the antagonist of the movie, I'll say Damien, who's played by Mark Scheist. Even his daughter in the movie, Elise, it kind of hits the angle of how domestic abuse and domestic violence affects children, in those relationships. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. We're standing, Tanya, there's a lot of stuff going on in homes. We're taught to smile and ignore it. And even just like I said, tolerate the verbal abuse, tolerate the mental abuse. And none of it is good. So we are taking a stand, girl. We are taking a stand. Yes.
And it's about time, especially in the Black community, because, growing up, I wouldn't just say with my family, but I would say in general, I really never heard discussions about domestic violence, even though, it was prevalent in the community. And just talking about it and being vulnerable now, I don't know if you know it, but I was in a domestic violence relationship in my early 20s. And I know what it's like and how to be scared to leave and just feeling like there's no hope. And, I love, like, even back then, Dolly Parton, I heard about her issue. I don't know if you know, but she had a relationship with domestic violence and how she just talked about how she came out of that relationship. And when I heard her story, I was in, an abusive relationship. So it gave me like encouragement to, just see the future because I felt stuck. It was horrible. So, why do you think that women stay and feel stuck in these types of relationships? And what resources do you think there are now to help women that are in these type of situations?
Tanya, that is such a great question. And, we look at other people's situations and be like, well, why would she tolerate that? And I think that's kind of one of the problems that make us stay. We're embarrassed to say, hey, this person hurt my feelings because we're always supposed to be so strong. We're, never supposed to let nobody get one up over on us. So, for us to say, okay, well, this person treated me this way. This is how I handled it. And to have so many, I guess, outside opinions coming in, we kind of protect the relationship. And I think that has to do with identity crisis. On my, YouTube, on my podcast, I talk about identity crisis. We sit back and we kind of become who it is that our partner wants us to be or who we think they need, as opposed to being our true selves. And the other day, I mean, I'm literally on the phone for, domestic violence, speaking with someone who works with a nonprofit here. And I'm literally at the stop sign, and this guy just like pushes this girl out the car with her little baby, a little 1-year-old, at this intersection in her car seat and these totes, like just yesterday. And I was right behind them. It was so strange how it happened. And, so she was, she didn't seem like she was combative or anything. You got to use wisdom, And she asked, could you please help me? Can you take me right here? It's right there. And she had her little baby in the middle of the road. And I'm just standing there like talking to her. And I asked her, I said, well, why are you still with him? And I mean, forgive me. No. But this is the message I want to give to anyone who is listening. It is a choice.
Thank you for watching the very first episode of the mini-series, What's Love Got to Do With It on CT Connects? Yes. Listen, this is with the Miracles Podcast hosted by LaTonya Meori and your girl, CT Connects. If anybody did not tell you today, I love you. Make sure you subscribe and share. Have a good night.